We're already.
Hi guys, I'm here with my friend MarkJamesGordon, and he is a detoxification specialist trained by Dr. Robert Morse, and he does what is called iridology or iridology. I've heard people, pronounce
I just say iridology.
Yeah, differently. And what that is that's actually the study of the iris and diagnosing based on, we're going to talk. He's going to show us about what's going on in your iris. So he just took a very close-up picture with a special camera that's used for doing this. So he just took a picture of my iris on both my eyes, and now he's going to do like a little diagnosis. And yeah, so, and Mark, just for those of you who don't know, he has a channel, MarkJamesGordon, and we'll, put a link somewhere. And he has lots of awesome videos about detoxification, and he's been just helping so many people to cleanse and clear their system, get their energy back, get rid of interference and things in the body that are preventing them from having optimal health. And he also has a show on. He has a live stream YouTube show every Monday night at 6:30. And he has this increasing following of people, and we get on there and people ask questions. And I'm actually starting one similar, but like for beginners. So
awesome.
On Tuesday nights at 6:30, and actually after we finish this, I'm hoping he can show me which buttons to push so I can make it work, because that hasn't been happening. So that's my little introduction to all my peeps and anyone else who's listening, and I'm gonna let Mark take it from here. So.
Well, yeah, like Kelly said, we just took pictures of her eyes. So what I do is I have an overlay. I overlay a map of the iris developed by Bernard Jensen, the guy that kind of brought iridology to the West, and then we'll map out her eyes and kind of see where the weak spots are. I mean, it's not really a diagnosis, and it just kind of shows us where the lymphatic system is compromised, which I believe is the cause of all so-called diseases. I don't believe in diseases. I just think they're obstructions of the body. So we're going to help Kelly look at the areas that need to be cleansed and detoxed, and get that lymph moving in those areas, especially so she can focus on those areas, and then the magic happens. You get right back to Wellville once you get that stuff cleared out. So the next part of this video is going to be us talking over the pictures.
And just really quick, I wanted to introduce Mark's co-star, in case you don't already know. This is Bitsy.
Yep, she's got quite a following.
His little dachshund, and she's very cute. She's sitting behind me. She's our animal helper, and she's got her little toy here. So in case you were wondering what that movement was there. So okay.
Well, great. So we're happy to have Kelly here, and let's go look at her eyes. Okay, so here's Kelly's eyes here. This is your left eye, Kelly, okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first thing that we notice, as you have actually said, wow, you said I've got a lot of lymph. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a lot of lymph. All this white stuff, this is your lymph system, okay? All right. So the good news is most of it is white. Okay, now you have blue eyes. And if this was more yellowish, you'd be said to have green eyes, but you have blue eyes, okay? And up in this area here, we start to see some yellowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this upper part of the eye, now we had to take two separate shots of your eyes because you have very, tight eye sockets, okay? So we weren't able to get the whole entire eye. So this one's going to focus, I got the whole bottom part of the eye, and we got some of the top part of the eye. Okay, so we'll go right to the things that really pop out, and one, of course, is all this yellowing. Now, what's interesting is right around the iris here, right around the pupil here, is the transverse colon, okay? That's the part of the colon that comes across the body here. There's a direct link with your head. This is your head region up here. So if you have toxicity in the bowels, you're going to have it in the head. It's always a given. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is of course we want to move lymph, but we want to clean the bowels. Everybody needs to clean the bowels. Now this is a little bit orangish. I'm going to say that this is sulfur, which always is in line or a partner with candida. Okay, so but you don't have a lot of work to do. I've seen much worse eyes. You have really actually very strong eyes. Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but
I've done a lot of work, guys.
You've done a lot of work, and it shows. So you got to move lymph, though. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get you on at least a month of Dr. Morse's stomach and bowel formulas. Okay. And that's going to clean the bowels out. Now he has 5 different formulas.
These are herbal formulas for those of you who don't know, for
from Dr.
specific
Morse.
systems and organs in the body. So, okay, go ahead.
So stomach and bowels. Now, depending on how many bowel movements you have a day, we'll give you a number for that. Okay, 1 through 5. If you're not going at all, you got to go to 5. If you're going too much, we'll get you down on 1. Okay. Normal bowel movements, a 2, and so forth. Okay. So, anyways, all right. So then the next thing that's standing out for me. Well, let me ask you, what stands out for you now?
Well, I don't know that much about iridology, but I've seen like really clear eyes. So the other thing I guess that stands out is this kind of next ring here.
Very good.
Of the white stuff that kind of radiates.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, that little ring there, and then it radiates out.
Okay, so now what this is actually your bowel wall.
Oh.
So we got a lot of mucus all and stagnant lymph all through the bowel wall. That needs to be cleaned. Now, the thing about colonics, as you know, and enemas, they're really great at moving out impactions and things that are inside the bowels, right? But the bowel wall is something we need to really work on. Okay, that's where the lymphatic buildup comes in. That's where the acid damage can really get you. Okay, that's when you get IBS, Crohn's disease, because acids get trapped in that lymph. Okay. That stagnant lymph that starts burning you, and it starts destroying tissues. Okay, and you don't want to have that. You don't want to go that route. You don't want bowel resections and all that kind of crud. That's easily taken care of though with the stomach and bowels formulas, and with we'll get you eventually on the GI broom, which will pull toxicity.
It pulls it out. Okay.
Those astringents will yank it out of there.
And GI broom is another very popular herbal remedy from Dr. Morse.
Very powerful. That's why we never start anybody out with it. We always get them on a stomach bowels for at least a month. Okay.
Okay.
So cool. GI broom, it'll be okay. Now another thing that we're noticing here is as long as we're in the stomach area, this is the stomach and the bowel area inside here. Okay. This kind of, can you see a kind of a whitish, yellowish thing? This is your actual stomach.
Oh.
Okay. So that's going to need some work too. It looks like you have an over acid stomach. Okay, do you get any kind of acid refluxes or anything like that?
No, not really.
If you eat citruses, do you get any kind of reaction?
Well, yeah. Actually, if I do a lot of citrus, I will feel a little irritation. Yes,
okay,
definitely.
yeah. So we'll get that taken care of by detoxification. Will help that. By getting on a high fruit diet. That helps too. Okay, you're going to move some lymph out of that stomach area, some acids out of that stomach area.
Yeah, and let me just say really quick for those of you who don't know, I was vegetarian for 12 years, vegan for 3 of those years, and then put on your seatbelts, my vegan friends. Then I went back to eating animal protein. For 12 years, I was doing like the paleo thing, and it's only been 2 years ago that I went back to being vegan. And over the last year or so, I've moved into high raw and high fruit. So I'm just really a beginner at that, because even when I was a vegetarian and a vegan, I wasn't a good one. I mean, I didn't have a horrific diet, but it definitely was not high raw or high fruit. So I'm kind of new at the high raw, high fruit thing. So I'm really excited about this.
Good. Yeah, the paleo is really the enemy of the lymph system. And I was on the Atkins diet, so I know about high protein diets, and that's when I got my fibromyalgia. It shut my kidneys down, and I backed up like crazy, and I was literally stoning up. I could barely walk. Coming down those stairs was really difficult in the mornings.
Wow.
So so that could be a lot of it there. So so you'll notice this kind of ring around the iris. It looks kind of brownish. Okay, see that brown, little bit of brown there. Okay, that is always in line with a clogged bowel wall, telling me that you have malabsorption.
Yeah, I would believe that.
You're getting your nutrients, but you're not absorbing them the way you should. So malabsorption is going to be handled with cleaning out the bowels and getting on high fruit too. Okay. So these are some things right off the bat that you're going to find remedy very quickly with. Okay. You'll start to see the difference in a couple of months. All right. So now the next thing that is popping out for me is these kind of saucer-shaped things. Okay, do you see these? They're shaped
that was
like
the next
saucers.
thing I was going to say that I see. Those are called lacunas,
They're
right?
called lacunas. Yeah. And crypts if they're real deep. Okay. And lesions if they're really kind of tight and dark and smaller. So let's find out where these are. This is the left eye here, so we're going to call up a left iris map here, okay? And we're going to see that this one here for you is in the ovary area and in the abdomen, okay? So some female issues there. You want to work on that. Moving lymph out of those areas is so good for women because women, the thing about estrogen is it's an acidic hormone. So if you have weak adrenal glands, you're not making the antacid steroids enough to counteract that estrogen. You actually make progesterone. Okay, you don't have to buy it. It doesn't come in a pill. The good stuff comes from you. So we bring up those adrenal glands, we clear out the lymph in your female areas, and the magic happens again. Okay?
Cool.
You clear all that stuff
magic.
out. We like that
happening
magic. Okay?
For us.
So all that lymph starts moving out of that lower abdomen area. Okay? We got another one here in the groin area. All right. So this leads to endometriosis. It leads to cysts and fibroids. It leads to cervical cancers. All those things. You want to take care of this.
So the groin area has a lot of the lymph nodes.
A lot, yeah.
Yes. So okay.
So you've got lacuna. Now these are just areas of weakness. Okay. They could be genetic. They could be from lifestyle. We don't know. All we know is we want to work on these are weak areas that we need to really work on. We have overall detox with all this lymph here, but we also have specific areas. So we know right now that lower abdomen area is an area to work on. Dr. Morse has a lower circulation tonic, which are really good for that. And just overall detox is really going to help bringing up those adrenal glands, like I say, to get more steroids. Adrenals control the kidneys too, so getting more kidney filtration. The kidneys filter the lymph. You want to see cloudy urine.
Yeah, and you guys, when you go to Mark's website or YouTube channel, be sure to watch. He has like 3 or 4 beginning level detoxification little animated videos, which are awesome, and you'll learn a lot. And he talks about kidney filtration, and the kidney filtration and the lymph stuff is new to me. Like I've done lots of detoxing and colonics and all these different things and liver flushing, but I know that I was, guided to this information and to Mark and other Dr. Morris detox people because that's my missing link is the kidneys.
There you go.
I've been having trouble getting my kidneys filtering, so it's definitely something I'm working on, and the lymph. So I feel really grateful that I have this new little key to the puzzle that was missing. So
and now you have it. Now you have the body confirming this.
Yes.
So your confirmations are being fortified here. So and then when you clean, you can start seeing these areas improve, which is really exciting.
So we'll do a follow up whenever whenever it makes sense, and we're in the same neighborhood again, and we'll do a follow up on the eyes so you can see how they change and it gets better. So it really confirms that I always say the proof is in the pudding. So whatever you're doing, you want to know whether it's working or not if you're spending the time and the money and effort to do it. So
the proof is in the lymph pudding.
Proof is in the pudding and the irises. So we'll do follow up. We'll do a follow up.
Okay, so real key here in looking at the map. We got the adrenal glands and the kidneys right here. We can see all that mucus down in here. And we've got some toxicity right there sitting in the adrenal. Do you see that? See that orange stuff? That's sulfur, candida? Right there. Or it could be toxic, stagnant lymph that's been there a long time, okay? Sitting right in the adrenal gland. And look at all that mucus and look at the degeneration going on, starting to go on in the kidneys and the adrenals. And coming, I will have to say, coming into your left leg and left hip. So you want to move this out. Yeah, you're starting to get some degeneration there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's my right side. Oops, I'm sorry, Bits. Because I really feel it on my right side.
Okay, we'll take a look over there too. Yeah. We'll see what's going on over there. But you definitely, now, like I say, just because you have lacunas does not mean that you're symptomatic at that point. It just means these are areas of weakness we want to get to now before you get into
you have symptoms.
Right, you get into these later years. You don't want to be limping around or having a cane or a walker or having to get those little carts at the market. You don't want to be that person. You don't have to be that person.
No.
You can take care of this now, and degeneration turns to regeneration, and we're going to live. I'm going 108 years, you guys. I'm on record.
108?
That's all.
Awesome.
I don't ask for too much.
I'll go for 108 too. But I'm gonna be a super senior. We're gonna be super seniors.
That's it.
We are super seniors.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can get a Denny's discount, by the way. Senior discount. So. Okay, so more female areas here. Here's the uterus and vagina here, right there.
Ah, interesting.
So we got to move lymph out of those areas. Now, one thing I skipped over in the bowel wall. See these little spiky things? These are bowel prolapses, pockets, diverticulitis. Okay, these are pockets where you can store some toxins and all that. So just so you know, that's telling me that you may have parathyroid weakness, because the parathyroid handles calcium utilization, which is the structure of the body. So as you are utilizing more of the calcium, you're going to improve the structure of the body. You have really good skin, and everything looks really good on you in that regard. But you know, we can always work on things. So a little more. Let me look at the thyroid parathyroid and see. Yeah, so we got the thyroid and parathyroid up here. There's mucus. Now, here's a lacuna sitting right there in the throat area.
Oh, interesting.
There's the pharynx, larynx, and part of the thyroid, right? We can see that, and the parathyroid's right here. So we've got a lot of lymph toxicity. And you know, the thing about an iris map is but everything's not, the human body's not exact. So that we could say that there is weakness in the throat and the thyroid and parathyroid with this. There's a lot of mucus and possibly some degeneration happening.
Can you just,
and tonsils too. Do you still have your tonsils?
Yes, I do. And growing up, this makes total sense, because growing up I had strep throat like every year. Okay. Sometimes I get it 2 or 3 times, and they give me tons and tons of antibiotics. Yeah.
There we go.
And when it's interesting, because when I do detoxing, when I go do deep detoxing, I'll feel it again.
There you go.
Out of my tonsil, so it's moving out.
Yeah, these are the deepest of the lacunas here too. So this is the most degeneration. So yeah, as you drain the head and all that, you're going to get into there too. Now, I don't know if you have any swollen lymph nodes in those areas.
When I've been doing the detoxing, they won't be. They'll hurt.
Okay.
Like when I did the dry fast. And we'll tell you all about that another time.
Yeah, that's your weaknesses.
When I was doing the dry fasting, I had that. Well, let me ask you about the parathyroid. So, could you just speak for a moment about like the difference between the thyroid and the parathyroid, and their importance?
Yeah, the thyroid
their functions, and why it's so important to keep it.
Yeah, thyroid is metabolism. Okay, your metabolic rate, how much you sweat. Okay, because you got to be able to sweat out these toxins. If you have low sweating, you're putting too much pressure on the kidneys. The skin is your third kidney to help you release toxicity and help you clean that lymph. Okay, so that's really important. The parathyroid is calcium utilization. Okay, and that is tied to depression too. If you have low calcium utilization, you'll be depressed. That's why moms, after they have a couple babies, they get postpartum depression. That's nothing but the babies taking calcium out for their structure, and you not being able to put it back quick enough. So calcium is the structure of the body, the skin, the bones, the teeth, the hair, the organs, how the organs sit in the body. These little diverticuli. This is all that, the structure. You look pretty good though. Sometimes when the calcium's real weak, this whole transverse colon sits right down on top of the pupil. So, but your structure looks good. You got pretty good shape there.
Oh, good.
But and I'm going to pinch your skin and see. Yeah, you got good skin. But it's always good to perk that up. So general detox is going to help you. I would say, unless you were really symptomatic here, not to put you on specific herbs for the thyroid, but just a general detox is going to really help perk up those glands. Okay.
Okay. And actually, a few years ago, I was having a lot of problems with my thyroid.
Oh, and there we go.
Yeah, and it was going hyper, and then it was going hypo, and so I've actually done a lot of
there you go.
Healing that way.
Hyper and hypo are the same thing. It's weird, when you were a kid, did you ever have a toy run low on batteries and it starts going haywire? Like it'll start moving fast and it'll go slow, and that's exactly what happens with the glands. When they get clogged with mucus, they can either go hypo or hypo. Anytime they go hyper, they'll always go back to hypo though. Fast always goes back to slow. All right, so more lacunas over here in the lungs.
Oh, yeah, as I'm coughing.
As you're coughing.
I smoked for 14 years.
There we go.
From the time I was 14 until I was 28, and both of my parents smoked when, this is the era we came from, right? Both of my parents smoked all growing up, and then my mother actually smoked when she was pregnant with me, too.
There we go.
So I actually had a healer once clear, and he said, I've never saw so much smoke come out of somebody, so...
These are big ones, too. They're pretty big, and they're pretty encompassing. A lot of thick mucus in this area here. That's the lower lung, and that's the pleura there. So
can you guys see how really helpful this can be to have this information? You know, it's like, okay, this is confirming. I need to do more work on my lungs.
And the diaphragm right here in the upper abdomen. See all that?
Oh, yeah.
Look at all that mucus in there. So good. So,
yay.
And okay, so see this outer ring here? This is your skin and your lymph. A lymph ring here and skin ring, okay? It's getting a little more yellow as it goes up into the top of the head. Been there longer, okay? So we want to definitely, we're going to get to that upper shot of your head. Let's go to that now.
Okay.
Okay, so here is Kelly's head region as best as we could do here. So look at all that sulfur, all that candida, toxic lymph. Look at all that up in there.
I took tons of sulfur antibiotics.
We got to get that out of there. You got to drain that out. So upper circulation, cleaning the stomach and bowels really helps the drainage. Like I said, there's a connection there. Big toxic lymph up in there. We've got all this lymph up in the lymph ring and skin ring up in here, telling us that if you let this go another couple decades, you could get arcus, what we call arcus senilis. This leads to dementia and really slow brain function. So you can take care of it now, though, and build this back, no problem. And that's the good news, you guys.
Yeah.
And even if your folks have dementia and all this kind of stuff, detoxification really will help them immensely.
Yeah.
Getting on high fruit will help them immensely.
Yeah.
So that's just, look at all those strands of lymph. Look at all that stuff, just blocking everything up in there. So, you know, you're just, all that brain fog is going to leave. You're just going to, you're going to turn that brain back on. It's so wonderful.
Awesome.
So wonderful.
Then I'll really be dangerous.
Look at all that up in the neck and the ears and all that. How's your hearing?
What? My hearing's okay as far as I know, but you know what? I do really get the brain fog and
there you go.
You know, the heaviness in the head, and I do know it's directly related to my bowels, because then when I do my, you know, like I do a coffee enema, or you know, or when I'm kind of plugged up right now because I was doing cooked food and stuff the last week, and and so I'm really feeling it. But you know, when I'm clearing that out, I really feel it helps clear my head. But,
all right, well let's get on that and start draining that down.
Okay.
Now you can do some neurolymphatic massages. I have videos on how to do that on my website to help you get that down. Hot and cold showers. Go in the shower and turn it on hot, and then crank it down to low to cold, and then back up a couple times. That really helps. Stand on your head. Do some inversions.
Yeah.
Let's go to the right eye.
This is really inspiring for the things, you know, to really get me motivated to do.
Go to the right eye here.
Do more stuff.
And see what we got going in the right eye. Ooh, I see a big lacuna sitting here, Kelly. Yeah. And I have a feeling that's right on your kidney and your,
really?
And your adrenal.
I was going to say my liver.
No, that's kidney adrenal right there. Look at that.
On the right side. See, I told you that's the one that hurts me.
That's deeper than the other one, too. That's been there a long time. And that is sitting right there on the adrenal, too. Yep, right in the adrenal area there. Wow.
Yeah, so just so you know, really quick, I had a vaccine when I was 7 years old. They couldn't get it to take in my arm, and so they actually shot it right into here, which is like right in my right side, right into my right kidney liver area, and that's really, right where I have the pain. You can still see the scar there. So, you know, and
detoxification.
I've been really working on getting that out.
Dry fasting, like you're doing the master fasting, the high fruit, wonderful. Lots of work to do there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and we've got a deep, you know, just a deep. This I'm calling adrenals right here, and all that thick mucus ropey, all that thick mucus in that adrenal area, okay, and just a lot in the ovaries again. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. All right, lots in the female areas, in the bladder too. Lots in the bladder.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What would that look like? Like you have to pee all the time? Or?
Yeah, just a lot of peeing. Bladder inflammations, UTIs. You get UTIs?
No, but I used to.
Okay. All right.
When I was young, I used to get them a lot.
And this is lower back here. So little bit of lacunas starting up in the lower back. How's your lower back?
Yeah, well, it's not real strong.
Okay.
And it's kind of, I do get pain in my lower back.
All right, so that's good. That should help. As you move the lymph out of there, that should help. We've got some degeneration going on here, and some here actually in the bowel area here, okay? And this is going to be the This is the small intestines over here. So deep up in there. If you get on the master fast with that grape juice and the lemon and that psyllium pudding, you're going to start cleaning out the mucoid plaque out of those small intestines, which colonics and enemas don't get up in there.
Yeah,
so
I know.
This is amazing, the amount that comes out. You know. I
so
saw your post.
At some point, I'm going to go back on the I went off the master fast. I was only doing the hybrid, and I know some of you don't know who that is, but you can look it up, and we'll talk about another. That's a whole other thing. But I'm going to work back up to doing that and doing it full out because I really did get huge results from
Amazing,
that.
And you got work to do here. Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this now, because then it's kind of like I can go in for another
another round.
Another round of clearing stuff out, and so this is awesome.
So more of the right leg and hip, lots of mucus in there. Okay, so we want to take care of that too. General detox, like I say, lower circulation, or if you're going to get all down in here. We've got a lot of stuff going in here. That could be your liver over there.
That's my liver over there.
Okay, so here our mapping could be a little bit off. Okay, so sometimes the eyes aren't exactly level, so we could call that liver for sure. Okay, based upon your symptomology.
Yeah.
It's mapping in the diaphragm, upper abdomen area. But it's probably liver as well, getting in there too. Okay, yeah. So lots of mucus in that whole area there. All right. So let's see here. Okay. So also you got pancreas too. How's your digestion?
It's weak.
Okay.
I mean, let's just call it like it is. It's all relative. I'm sure it's really good compared to some people, but I feel it. It's
right. So
it's weaker than it could be.
We got liver, gallbladder in that area. Okay. We got more bronchioles over here, right? Oops, sorry about that. We got more bronchioles over in this area here. Here's some nice, really thick toxic stuff over here.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's in your throat. Right? That's your rib area, breast area. All
on my right side, which is where I have all most of my issues and feel it, my symptomatic. And
so we want to clean that out, definitely.
My masculine side. Yeah. I have to heal my masculine side.
More lungs. We got some reflections over here, so it's kind of hard to see here. So more lungs over here. We got a nice big doodaddy over here. And that is scapula.
That's a technical term, doodaddy.
Okay, that's coming into the bronchioles, and that's coming into the scapula and the esophagus area up in there. Okay, so more throat type stuff, more upper neck and back. How's your neck?
My neck is a mess. I was in some couple car accidents.
That could be that. Yeah. That could be that. Yeah. Sometimes a hit will show up as a deep thing here.
Interesting, yeah.
This looks like it's inside the bowel wall, but sometimes what happens is that you could have a lacuna that is out and it reaches actually into the bowels here, so it's kind of tricky. But we know through symptomology as well as some of these, a lot of that lymph there too, and this sort of degeneration here, that there's some problems in that area. Okay, let's go to the upper part of the right eye too. Okay, so we are seeing lots of thick lymph up in the head area. Again, a real problem here. All right, and so
basically the same stuff going on in
the eyes. Yeah, just a little bit more of what's going on here. Now we do have kind of a lacuna starting up here. It could be a brain lesion here.
Oh.
All right, so we want to map that out. That is animation life. Okay, so that really is, that's sort of like the area. How you feel about life, how you feel about yourself, are you going through some hard times?
I have a deep lacuna. I'm coming, and I don't call it a hard time, I call it a challenging transformational time, because it's really so huge. I mean, it's extremely challenging on the earth plane, but on the spirit plane, it's been just incredibly opening. And, my insights and everything have just been expanded,
wow.
in a very big way.
Wow.
So, and that's what our challenging times do for us, when we allow them to open us to new things. So that's really what's been going on with me, and moving out of that. So cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm sorry. So say that again. What that that's kind of how I feel about life. And
yeah, it's sort of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about life, and all that kind of stuff, So we start to get these little degenerations, and if we don't take care of them, we kind of can get apathetic as we age and things like that. Especially when we got all this brain fog up in here. So yeah, we just want to clean that up. Most of this stuff is lymphatic. It's not really, you're not getting into degeneration here. It's just, we're going into what I call, you got acute, which is, fairly. Not real super toxic, not really super acidic, but you are moving lymph to a certain degree, but then we've got subacute, and then we go chronic, okay? So we got a little bit of chronic up in here, really stagnant up in these areas here. Now, what's really important here, I should bring up, is that we have two glands, the pituitary and the pineal gland. They're sitting in just a pool of really thick stagnant lymph, okay? They're blocked like crazy. The pineal gland talks to all your other glands, so it's really important that you go after this, okay? And also your pineal is your sleep.
Ah,
Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? No, you're not sleeping.
I've had sleep issues for a long time, so yeah.
Okay, so all your glands are going to improve, and your sleep's going to improve as we get this out of here.
And what are we doing, or what am I doing specifically for my pineal?
Okay, and the pituitary. You want to get on the upper circulation. You may want to do a couple bottles of a pituitary glandular. Okay, are you vegan?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
I don't want to do glandulars.
All right, they're very powerful. They kickstart the glands, but you can do some herbs. Okay, Dr. Morse has a pituitary formula.
Okay.
Chase tree berries are really good for both of those glands.
Okay.
But deep detoxification, definitely upper circ, definitely a 4-way detox. Open the kidneys. Get the glands turned back on, especially the adrenals, move lymph, and clean the GI tract. And then we can go after those specific glands with herbs, okay? So lots of that going on. You can see the yellowing up here. Again, we got to really move lymph up in the head area. We got some darkness happening here, okay? This is in the region of, again, the tonsils, larynx, tongue, jaw, nose, up in that area there, okay? Ears up here and neck, again, full of mucus, okay? Lots of mucus going on there. So pretty much the same thing going on with the GI, with the bowel wall and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. You have your areas that you need to work on. And right in this area here, we've got some real, this is the last thing I'm going to do here. This is your inherent mental, okay?
She's crazy. And my
this is more, this is more moods and all kinds of things like that. So that's all going to improve.
Yeah.
It's so amazing how we think, oh, well, all these things with the moods and this and that and our outlooks and all that is, oh, it's from the childhood and all that. Well, yeah, possibly that has a part to do with it, but there's so much physical amount into that too. I agree. We have such a beautiful current that wants to come in, You're a spiritual woman.
Yes.
We want this beautiful current wants to love us. Let's just clear the thing out and just let that love in.
Clear the interference.
It's for everybody.
That was created by unnatural means.
Absolutely.
The antibiotics, the poor diet, all of that stuff. I mean, I was raised on standard American diet.
Me too.
Exponentially. It was
space food, sticks, and tang.
Yeah. Some basic tang
and so
Oscar Mayer wieners.
This is almost a roadmap of our karma. I'm starting to think that more and more. This is our karma.
And what do you mean by that?
Our choices. This is our food choices. We let the doctors inject us with the vaccines. We let we let ourselves get stressed. We let ourselves it's kind of a karmic roadmap, but this karma can be reversed.
And you know what I say? It's like collective karmic roadmap, because the fact of the matter is if we didn't have Oscar Mayer wieners and tang and vaccines and medical, we wouldn't have the things that this creates. So it's collective karma thing.
Absolutely.
And as we clear things as individuals, it affects the collective as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Which is something I was just going to say really quick, you guys, because this is just after the elections and Donald Trump was elected and people are all freaking out. I'm just going to say this really quick. I really believe that we have a collective detox going on. Like, don't worry about all the stuff. What it is all the icky, toxic crap is being revealed so we can see it and heal it. Reveal it, right. See it, and heal it. So
it doesn't matter who's president. Humanity is waking up.
Yes.
They're all going to have a hard time controlling us because we're taking back our individual power, which is really beautiful. Yeah. So anyways, one last thing now that I see it. This is the medulla, okay? this is a cerebellum and medulla. Okay, so this is a balance and equilibrium. How's your balance?
You know what? That's weird because lately I've been having. I never had balance problems, and lately I've been having balance problems.
All
like
right.
I'll be sitting down, like I'll be sitting on the floor, and I'll stand up, and I'll feel this like imbalance.
There you
and I'm
go.
like, wow, what
there
is
you go.
that?
And it can actually make your blood pressure swing, go low and high, low and high.
Oh, that's interesting.
So keep an eye on that too.
Okay.
And lots of mucus in the mastoid and ears. Okay, so
interesting.
this is all going to clear
that goes
out.
with my throat stuff too.
This is all going to clear out. So that's it. Okay. And
it would have been really fascinating to see this back when I was like really super sick and at death's door, 20, 25 years ago. I would have loved to have had, eye pics of that to see. I mean, this is probably like 100 times better, so it's all relative to.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool. And if I had stayed vegan and gone all raw or, 80% raw and high fruit, back 25 years ago when I first started working on stuff, that I'd be, I'm sure that my eyes would be much better, my health and energy and everything would be much better. So for people, if you're seeing this now, really take that to heart, to just get on it, get on it as soon as you can.
Get on it.
Clear it up.
Absolutely.
Clean it up, baby.
Okay. I got to get going here.
Okay.
Thank you
are we
so
saying
much.
goodbye to everybody now? Okay.
Gotta say
Thanks
goodbye.
for tuning in, guys. And we'll do a follow-up at the perfect time in the future, and we'll keep you posted. Tune in to Mark's show on Mondays at 6:30 live on YouTube, and then you can always watch them later if you can't make it. I'm starting one on Tuesdays at 6:30 live on YouTube, and I'm hoping Mark's going to have at least 5 minutes to show me really quick what buttons to push because I can't figure it out. But anyway, we'll say bye for now. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bitsy said bye too.
Oh, I can't.